Hello and welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town, and we're here today for our annual press conference to kick off the We Feed program to raise funds and food for our various food pantries. We do this every year, and we time it around February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. It's 214 is the theme. We ask companies in Woodbridge or individuals in Woodbridge to donate either $214 toward the cause or 214 pounds of food. It's a wonderful program. It was here when I got here in 2006, so Peter thinks it probably started a couple of years before that, but the We Feed program goes back to 1992 in Woodbridge Township. It's sad to say that we have hundreds of families with children or individuals who go to bed hungry every night. The people in the audience, so maybe we'll find a couple of them to speak. I know Jake's here. I always ask Jake to speak. Oh, I don't know where he went. No, there you are. There you are. It's wonderful that so many organizations work on the issue of hunger. There's 11 different food pantries in town. Peter Barcelona is the one who coordinates everything through the health department where he's employed. He is the middleman between all the donors and the recipients. So he's the guy that collects everything, distributes it out, and the people in the different church groups get it out to the people who need it. So let me start by asking Peter to say a few words about this drive.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank the mayor and the council and the administration for their support over the last 27 years of our program of We Feed. We Feed is a network of 11 food pantries in Woodbridge that I actually direct, but the volunteers, the hundreds or so volunteers that work in our 11 food pantries each day feed over 600 families per month in Woodbridge Township. This food drive, the Have a Heart food drive, is a very unique food drive. As the mayor said, we kick it off today and it goes through Valentine's Day, but it coordinates not only our business community and individuals, but it works with our schools as well, so we educate our students on civic responsibilities to our community. So the drive, as opposed to some of our other drives that we do throughout the year, we tie this to Valentine's Day, asking individuals to donate $214 or whatever they can donate, or 214 pounds of food, which helps to keep our food pantries well stocked. The need in our community is great, as the mayor said, and the mayor recognizes that, and we greatly appreciate his help bringing that to the forefront. So again, we would ask your help from the community, from our business community, our school communities, or just general individuals. If anybody has any questions, they can contact me at the health center. And again, we thank the donors for their support.
Thank you, Peter. I want to thank Karen Barnes, who is the Executive Director of the Woodbridge Chamber of Commerce. She is the first one to make a $214 donation on behalf of the Chamber, but that's not what's important. That's important. What's more important, though, is that she's accessing the entire database of companies in Woodbridge and elsewhere that are members of the Chamber of Commerce to inform them of this drive, and that is invaluable to us. So we want to thank you for that effort. I should have introduced two people on the council to my left, Greg Ficara, Councilman at Large, all the way down there to your right. And I'd like to ask Debbie Meehan, 5th Ward Councilwoman from Colonia, if she'll speak. Now, Debbie does an event in February. This year it's on the 6th at Colonia Country Club. She does a Taste of Colonia, and that provides donations. There's a collection that night, and they raise money that night. And I think I just told you everything you need to know, and I don't even need Debbie to talk anymore, but I'm going to introduce Councilwoman Debbie Meehan to maybe supplement what I'm saying about how the Colonia business community helps the food pantries.
Good morning, everybody. So our event, what the mayor just talked about, is this year we're doing it on a Thursday. It's on the 6th. It's from 6 to 9 p.m. It's at the Country Club. It's a great event. It's a lot of great restaurants and spirits, and while we're having fun with all our neighbors, we're also raising money for the food pantries. And we ask that you bring, the tickets are $30. We ask that you bring a can of food with you when you come. Last year we collected quite a bit of food, and we were able to donate, I believe, a little over $10,000 to the food pantries, which is it's a significant amount. And this is all through the Colonia businesses trying to help the food pantries. Just real quick, quick, over the past couple months, we've been collecting food for families for the holidays, and the need this year for families was incredible. And there was one little boy that told his teacher, he said he didn't even know what a turkey was. So just it's so important that people remember these food pantries during the months that aren't the holidays. Everybody wants to help during the holidays, but we kind of forget what goes on all year long. So every little can of food you donate, every $214 that comes in for the food banks is really, really important. So thank you, everybody, and please come out and join us on February 6th for our Taste of Colonia. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have three of our Woodbridge businesses represented to my right. I'm going to start with the current president of the board of the Chamber of Commerce, Angie Circus, who represents Northfield Bank, and Angie has a check presentation for us. Angie, you want to say a few words first?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I personally, and on behalf of Northfield Bank, would like to thank WeFeed for everything that they do. We have been donating to this cause for quite some years, and we're very proud and to be able to help out. I know food insecurity is a great need in Woodbridge and in surrounding areas, not just in Woodbridge, everywhere. And Northfield Bank and myself are very proud to be part of this, and thank you for inviting me.
Amy Krasinski from RSI Bank, which recently opened right outside of our doors in Town Hall, and which has a lot of township deposits. Thanks to Amy's persistence is a nice word. That's a nice word. Annoyance would be a better word, because every time I see Amy, she's hawking me for more township money, and even some of my money, I have to empty my wallet out and put it in her bank every time I see her. But Amy, would you please say a few words on behalf of RSI Bank?
Thank you, Mayor, for always embarrassing me. My name is Amy Krasinski, and I work for RSI Bank. We do have a new office right here in Woodbridge. We've been open for about 2 years now. We've been very fortunate to donate to We Feed Woodbridge for the past several years. This year, we were grateful enough to be able to donate $10,000 to the organization. We also did collections in each of our four branches and dropped the donations off to the St. James Pantry. So I feel honored to be able to help you guys, and thank you, Peter, for the work you do for our community.
Now our final check of the afternoon is from Sansone's Route Roanola Mall. I'm glad to have to my right here Paul Sansone, who in my 13 years of being the mayor of Woodbridge Township, I can't think of too many people who have been at the level of Paul in terms of their commitment to Woodbridge Township, and you'll hear him say why. But he started way back in the 90s. I was the town CFO. We started the concert series in the summer, and Paul had the idea of offering a TV or other electronic item or something that he would donate, and then every time somebody brought a can or a box of non-perishable foods, they would get a ticket, and they'd have a raffle, and they'd raffle off the GPS or raffle off the 6-foot TV or whatever the heck it was that Paul graciously donated, and it worked so well. And Peter will tell you, we collect last year,
We collect about 70,000 pounds
I was going to say
of food during the
60,
summer.
70,000 pounds of food in the summer, based on Paul's idea many, many years ago. And that's times that by 13, and you're talking 1 million pounds of food have been collected in Woodbridge Township at our summer concerts because of Paul Sansone. On top of that, he is now making a $14,250 donation to the fund directly. And I would like to ask now Paul Sansone to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'm very proud to be in Woodbridge. I've been here over 60 years in business. This year is our 60th year. And the administration is one of the premier administrations in the state, for sure. I feel very proud to be part of the community. A businessman, we employ over 400 people, and I thoroughly enjoy doing for the town whatever I can do, because I know it goes to good use, whether it's the opioid, whether it's the concert, whatever it may be. When Mayor McCormick calls us, and I'm so proud of his resounding win over the last election, so I wouldn't have known what to do if he didn't win. I would have been lost.
My name is John McCormick, and I approve this message.
And it's true, though. The people, the town, I see progress all over the place. And I love being in business here. And it's our privilege to be part of the community. And I want to thank Mayor McCormick and his administration for all they do to keep it running smooth. And I don't see Carol Ehrlich here. I don't know.
She didn't know you were coming, or she would have been here. She's going to be mad when I get back.
She's a very dear administrator, and she's a very dear lady. And I've known her for years. And so celebrating my 60th anniversary in business in Woodbridge, and I started in Ford's. So with that, I'd like to say, Mayor, the food bank needs it. They need help. And whatever I can do every year, I even put it as part of my foundation. Every year, they'll be getting as much as I can give. And I want to say thank you for the reception I get from the town, from the people in the town, and my employees are privileged to be working at the mall that's been here for so long. Thank you so much.
Paul has been in business 60 years in Woodbridge Township. He was a child prodigy. He started his business at 9 years old. So congratulations, Paul. Couple of things. Paul mentioned the opioid program very matter-of-factly, but he has embraced that program and he has done so much for it. It's where we have recovery coaches who are trained, who are in recovery themselves, and whenever somebody's Narcaned or taken to an emergency room with an overdose or just with any kind of issue related to drugs or alcohol, or if they just want to come in themselves and seek help, these coaches, walked in their shoes. They know exactly what they're going through. They work with them. They get them the right programs, the right services, the right counseling. It's a wonderful program, and Paul supports that. Even more so, he supports the military program to get jobs for people who come back from overseas after having served in the military. We all know what happens with suicides. There's a number of them daily all over because of the depression and because of the situation that people find themselves in after fighting for our country and our freedom. And what Paul does is getting these young men and women and helping them find employment, and many times in his own auto mall. You heard he employs 400 people. So what he does there is tremendous. So I just can't think of better corporate citizens than Paul Sansone and Sansone's Route 1 Auto Mall than him in Woodbridge Township. I'll ask a couple of people in the audience if you want to say anything about the food drive. Jake, I always pick on you. Rob, you want to say anything? Jake's going to be doing it? All right. Jake doesn't even live in Woodbridge, but he's here all the time. I think he does.
Jake just mentioned Wegmans.
First, I'd like to thank Mayor. Thank you. You are my favorite mayor of all time.
I know. I tell your mayor that all the time.
And thank you, Peter, for this. Without the merchants of Woodbridge and the banks and all that, and all the people helping us, we would not be able to provide food for everyone. So I would really like to thank everyone who donates, who puts their time in. I've been doing this since 1994. I retired in '93 just to do this job here. So I really appreciate all the help that we get so we can feed all the people who are hungry. I know what hunger is because I was born in Hungary, and right after the Second World War, I was hungry every day. Every day I was a child. So I know what hunger is all about. So please keep on donating. We appreciate it. And Peter, thank you so much for all your help, because this gap, have a hard drive from Christmas to the summer concerts is a very crucial time because nobody thinks about helping out the food pantries at this time. So it's a very, very good thing at this time because it helps us to overcome the desire to need food for people who are in need of it every day. So please keep on continuing, keep on giving. Thank you so much.
Well, stay here 1 minute. I forgot to mention that Jake is from the Avenel Presbyterian Church.
Yeah.
So just give a quick summary of the role of the church in terms of getting and distributing.
Well, we deal with Peter every month. We have meetings together, and we get our food from We Feed, from ShopRite, and from Wegmans. Thank you. There's nobody representing here ShopRite or Wegmans today. Thank you for them. They give us grants. They give us food every month. So we want to thank them also. And we bag about 100 bags a month for our clients, and we keep records. We have helpers that are trying to help us get the food to the people that really need it. So we have a pantry day, and we give out about 100 bags, 2 bags to each client. It's a job, but it's a very worthwhile job. Thank you so much.
Thank you, pal.
Thank you.
If I could ask Peter just to touch base with where the money goes in terms of, a lot of people donate non-perishables, but tell everybody for the record about where the money is used.
Right, so the monies that comes through We Feed, we distribute the money equally amongst our 11 food pantries. And our food pantries, almost all of our food pantries belong to the Community Food Bank of Hillside, which is the state food bank up in Hillside. They can purchase food at a very reduced cost. Most of our food pantries get at least 1 shipment a month from the Community Food Bank of Hillside. The additional money that they use, they generally buy gift cards, or they generally buy food locally for specific needs of people that might be diabetic, might be gluten-free, all those kind of needs. So the food is generally, the money is distributed, and they have that ability to buy fill in those gaps at the food pantries, what generally is not coming in as a non-perishable food. So.
All right, thank you. One last point. I'm going to mention it at the State of the Township address in 2 weeks. I'm not even sure Greg and Debbie know all the facts yet, but many weeks ago, Peggy Foley from St. James, who's here, Peter Barcelona, and Maureen Jorgensen from St. John's, 3 of the best people in the town, came to meet us, and we sat in the conference room, and what they were looking for is a place where they could have freezer space, refrigerator space for perishable foods, because apparently there's a lot of opportunities to get them donated from places like the food banks of Hillside and other places that will bring meats and milk and cheese and things that need to be frozen, but we can't take it all because we don't have a place for it. So on a Wednesday, they say we have this need. And Thursday, I go to St. John Vianney's to speak to the seniors, and I'm talking about that the Hickory Senior Center is open and how it used to be the Ford's First Aid Squad, but we saw the building, it was vacant, we got it, we put it to good use. I think we talked about the Island American Legion, we did the same thing. We did the same thing, Hopelawn VFW became Delena Manor, and School 2 and 16 became Reinhardt Manor. And I actually made the statement, if there's a vacant building in town, we'll get it, we'll put it to good use. Well, 5 minutes later, the pastor, Father John Gloss, who was at the meeting, said, I have another building for you. And the St. John Vianney convent, which was vacated a little over a year ago, the last nun that lived there left, and they have no need for the building. He asked me, would we find some interest for it? So here it is, a Wednesday, we find the need, and a Thursday, we get the answer. It was phenomenal. And we're the perfect person, or perfect entity to use that building, because it's tucked in the middle of the parking lot. It's not really accessible from the street unless you go through the church and the school parking lot. So we're working out a deal where from 9:30 to 1:30, after school starts and before school lets out, we will get that building. We'll either lease it or we'll pave the lot in exchange for the lease. We have a couple things we're working on, but we think we can finally have a place where large chunks of meat can be accepted and it can be stored. So Paul, some of your money, actually maybe some of this other money, might be used to buy refrigeration and freezer space, or we'll find other sources too. But I think it's a wonderful use of that building, and it's available, and people like Peggy and Maureen and Peter and all the people involved like Jake know how much more we can accomplish if we have freezer space and refrigerator space. So I can't wait to get that going. And I should have saved it for the State of the Township, but everybody's here that's involved in the event, in the program. So I think it's wonderful to talk about that now. So thank you again, because even though you're donating food for this year, you're also helping to make it possible for the next decade for us to get food. It's just wonderful that this is all being put together. We're talking to the diocese now. I wouldn't have mentioned it if I didn't think it was going to happen. I'm sure everybody wants it to happen. So it's a wonderful future now for the We Feed program in Woodbridge Township. So other than that, thank you all for coming. We'll probably take a group picture. I think Megan will want to get a group shot. Thank you all for coming here. And again, the people in town, $214 or anything you can give, 214 pounds of food or anything you can give. It's all appreciated. You can bring food to the health center. Help me, Peter, the community center. Where else?
Health center, community center, the senior centers.
Senior centers, all four. That's Island, 5 Branches, Colonia Evergreen, Seawarren / Port Reading, Sycamore, and Ford's Hickory. That's it, those 6 locations. So you got the food, you can bring it to us. If you have large quantities of food, call the office, we'll pick it up. I know somebody every year, there's one woman that always donates big boxes and boxes of vegetables, so just call us. Thank you all for coming out.